Hello, I'm Dr. Monty Hayes, and welcome to this series of lessons for technical writing and reading for Kirkwood Community College. This is a series of mini lessons, and the first one has a theme that's a little cheesy, but I think it will help you remember. And this is something to apply in many reading and writing situations, in many reading situations. This is something to apply in many reading situations, and in particular, in any of your course reading. So you've heard the old saying, put on your thinking cap. Well, terms we talk about in just about any college and high school textual analysis or critical reading class are context, audience, and purpose. So CAP, context, audience, and purpose. So one reason we want to look at any kind of biographical information about a writer is to see, the era in which he or she lived and worked. If this piece has to do with civil rights, what was going on at the time the author penned the piece that you might be reading for a course? So we look at context. If you should be reading an opinion piece, a piece about environmental policy, it might be worth knowing that it was written by a journalist in along the Gulf Coast shortly after a major oil spill, for example. That context might inform the writer. In addition, context might say something about audience. So for whom is this piece intended? Now, if it's for the Washington Post, that gets distributed nationally. So is it a general adult audience? If it's on a particular website, is that website frequented by people who hold particular political views or who have particular hobbies? Is it a birdwatcher's website, which assumes a certain amount of technical knowledge, and so certain terms aren't explained? The tone can also tell us something about audience. If I'm a student writing an email to a professor, I might use formal language. If I am sending a text to a friend, it will be much more informal. So audience is reflected in the writing. Reading and writing are interactive processes. And then finally, purpose. Is the author trying simply to tell an amusing tale to entertain us? Is the author trying to convince us or persuade us or something? Going back to bird watching, is the author trying to inform us? This is what we need to know about, the different types of sparrows who live in Iowa, and there will be a lot of facts presented because the main purpose is to inform. This is what we need to do to preserve their habitat. That's to persuade. The charming sparrow at my window, that might be simply to entertain. So again, if we put on our thinking caps, and again, a little cheesy, but it might help you remember, when you're looking at anything assigned to you for your writing classes and your reading classes, because we do read models in writing classes, think about context, audience, and purpose, and be ready to tell your instructor about them.